The political leader, Comrade Philip J. Pierre, representative from Castries. First Deputy Leader, Comrade Alva Baptiste from Labre. Second Deputy Leader, Comrade Sean Edwards, Denry North. Chairman, Comrade Moses Jabatis from Beaufort North. Former Chairman and soon-to-be Chairman for life, Claudius Francis. Former Prime Minister, Sir Vaughan Lewis. Other executive members, brothers and sisters, good night once again. And to all St. Lucians, patriotic St. Lucians, listening online and via television, good night to you. Tonight is a night for reflection. I'm in a serious mood tonight. And let me tell you why. I'm serious because my country, your country, is suffering. Whilst we are suffering, the UWPs are busy trying to convince St. Lucians that they won the no confidence motion debate. Now seriously, what does it matter to argue whether you won or who lost? But ask them for me. If they believe that the no confidence motion was unnecessary, why did they try so hard to stop it? Why did they try to interject when every speaker was speaking? Why? What is it that they are afraid of? But even when they tried to defend it, what did you hear them say? You heard Grindberg, Rochamel, and Guy Joseph went and take a commission of inquiry report on the Soufrière-Vieux-Fort Highway that was finished since 2005. That's how he's going to defend no confidence in Alan Chasney. Now, you see, when they tell you about Rochamel, remind them how many hundreds of St. Lucians are working at Sanders Grant, the same Rochamel. If Kenny Anthony had not done what he did, there would not have been hundreds of St. Lucians working at Rochamel right now. And they speak of Grindberg. The day will come very soon. And we have dead Alan Chasney, because he has threatened to do it, to start a commission of inquiry into Grindberg. And Dr. Anthony has warned him that that will be his biggest embarrassment ever. So I'm not saying much about Grindberg. I'm waiting for him to start his commission of inquiry. And let me tell you all something. And all St. Lucians should listen. They are going to have commissions of inquiry. Because their strategy is in the lead up to elections to start a number of inquiries in St. Lucia to try to discredit the St. Lucia Labour Party. That's their plan. I'm waiting for my day. Madi Anye. Every time in Parliament, Jufali, I am waiting for my day. Let them start the inquiry. Now, I'll tell you something. I have no problems with inquiries, you know. I believe inquiries are necessary for democracy. But it must never be done for malice and for political reasons. And the person who's always talking about inquiry, you all will pay, you all will cry. Tanto. His inquiry is coming very soon. And it will not be our inquiry into him. Leave that for another day. Leave that for another day. So, I was hoping when they would speak about Rochamel and Grindberg, and I ask you something. If you care about Rochamel, you care about Grindberg, don't you care about the Dahem Mall? It costed St. Lucians over $40 million to buy that mall. Do you care about the Black Bay lands? Do you care about the Canal lands? That costed the government over $60 million to buy back for St. Lucia. If you care about Rochamel, don't you care about the range development, having to pay them almost $33 million? And they told us, very soon we'll get a joint statement. Ou j'ai mettre un joint statement là? Up to today, have they released the joint statement? Up to today, have they released the joint statement? Have you heard anything about the Taiwanese fund scandal when every minister was getting $1 million each day? That's what I'm about, sir. And I tell you, the day will come when the villages and town council reports will be made public and will be dealt with in St. Lucia. Every single parliamentarian there who got $1 million each year for 5 years will have to tell the people of St. Lucia how they spend that $5 million. The day will come. So when they talk about Rochamel and Grindberg, always remind them of that. Did they tell you about the CIP money that nobody can account for? Up to now, the Prime Minister cannot come to the House to tell us what happened to the CIP money. He has never came to the House to get permission to spend the CIP money. But they want to talk about Rochamel and Grindberg. So tonight, let's reflect on what the no confidence motion was all about. Because I want you, when the flabbers try to argue with you and tell you it was unnecessary and they won, there were 3 reasons why we had to have a no confidence motion debate. The first one is about trust. Trust. Do you trust the Prime Minister that we have in St. Lucia right now? Do you have any trust in Alan Chasney? Do you have any trust in the UWP government? Now, my people, trust in a Prime Minister is a critical thing. When you have trust in a Prime Minister, it inspires the people. It gives hope to the people. Trust in a Prime Minister is fundamental. It's the basis for any advancement in the country. The people must trust their Prime Minister. Because you want to know that when your Prime Minister leaves St. Lucia and goes to represent you overseas, you can trust him in what he would do. You would have to know that your Prime Minister will represent you with distinction and with honor. You must trust your Prime Minister. But in St. Lucia, we have no trust in this Prime Minister. Because I will ask you, how can you trust a Prime Minister who would sign the DSH deal? Do you trust him? Do you trust a Prime Minister that would give away 1,000 acres of your land to a foreigner with no money? Do you trust such a Prime Minister? How can you trust a Prime Minister that would sign the Ojo deal? And I will tell you, the gentlemen who started Ojo Labs were individuals who were in St. Lucia before, and they knew the Prime Minister. And they started off a small business in Austin, Texas. They didn't have money. They wanted to raise money. And instead, the government of St. Lucia allowed them to come here, set up a business for them, refurbish a factory shell, put on staff for them, pay staff for them. And then they are now expanding in the U.S. They're now expanding in the U.S. And we were told by now there will be hundreds of St. Lucians working at Ojo Labs. Where are the hundreds of St. Lucians? Do you trust that Prime Minister? Tell me, how can you trust a Prime Minister that would give or waive over $24 million in taxes for sandals? Can you trust such a Prime Minister? Can you trust a Prime Minister who will give away Pigeon Point to put a dolphin park? Can you trust such a Prime Minister? So, for me, the no confidence motion debate was about demonstrating that you, the people of St. Lucia, have no trust in the Prime Minister. That's what it was about. It was not about who win and who lose. It was about demonstrating that we, the people, have no trust in the Prime Minister. The no confidence motion debate was about respect. Respect. You see, respect from a Prime Minister is necessary. It's necessary for us to have stability in the country. St. Lucia has never been so divided, so tribalized, so politicized. A Prime Minister must preach unity togetherness and demonstrate that he's bringing the nation together. A prime minister must show the people that he respects them. That respect will create a sense of patriotism in us, a sense that our country cares about us, and our prime minister must show us that respect. But I ask you, do you feel that this prime minister respects St. Lucians? Where is the respect for St. Lucians when a prime minister can allow a minister to say that workers in a NICE program are fired because 90% of them are Labour Party supporters? Is that respect for the people of St. Lucia? Where is respect for St. Lucians and St. Lucia when a prime minister can say that your patrimony is measured by your credit rating, not by whether we cherish the Peters and we cherish Pigeon Point and we cherish Maria Islands? That's not important for him. How does he have respect for St. Lucia and for St. Lucians? Where is the respect for St. Lucians when the prime minister can compare us to backing dogs and say that he will let us back all day long? Where is the respect for St. Lucians when he says he will let us bray like jackasses and he just let the donkeys bray all day long? Where is the respect for St. Lucians when he can say to us that 43% of us men only had preschool education? So for me, the no confidence motion debate was about showing the people of St. Lucia that the prime minister has no respect for St. Lucians. That's what it was about. You see, the Flabbers are telling you things are progressing in this country. Projects, and projects will happen. I want you to sit down and reflect on this. There is only progress in this country. There is only economic growth. GDP only means something when you are benefiting from it. If a small group of people are the ones benefiting from all the economic growth, all the GDP increase, then there is no progress in this country. There is no progress. And I'm asking you the question, are St. Lucians not worse off now than they were in 2016? But I assure you, there are some people who are a lot better off than they were in 2016. So, if the government tells you there is progress, but all the major projects in St. Lucia do not go out to tender, or when they go out to tender, it's very irregular what's happening. Is there progress in this country? You know what they want you to believe? That once you get a road, once you get a bridge, once you get a footpath, keep quiet and be happy. There is progress. That's not progress. And let me tell you, during the House, I made the point that the site preparation works at the dam was very irregular and there was no proper bidding process. The minister stood up and he said, that's not true. We followed the proper bidding process. And a few days after, Wasco issued a statement saying they had followed the proper process and CDB even provided oversight. The Labour Party issued a statement and we made it very clear to them that we had information which led us to believe, and unless they can give us other information, we'll continue to believe that the process was very irregular. And we asked them some questions. We asked them questions. Up to now, Wasco cannot answer. Because Wasco has to prove to the people of St. Lucia that what they did was regular. Because a certain person got the contract. And I'm not against anybody getting contracts. Let me make it very clear. People have to earn their livelihood. And I'm not against any contractor getting contract. But you have to follow the right process. This contract is worth almost $19 million. The right process must be followed. Do not tell us St. Lucians to be happy. There is progress and there are projects. When the Roseau to Vanna Road, was there any tendering for it? The Blasha Road, was there any tendering for it? The Don Lockerbie Packer Company, $42 million, was there any tendering for it? The Ernst & Young Consultancy, was there any tendering for it? And you want me to be happy that there is progress? There is progress. I should keep quiet and say nothing and just accept the projects because you see there is progress. Forget the millions of dollars that have been lost because there is not proper tendering in this country. Let me tell you the worst one for me. The worst one. The Uranora Airport Redevelopment Project. Almost $500 million project. And there was no tendering. The largest infrastructure project in the history of St. Lucia, and there was no public tendering. How can that be right? How can that be progress? And listen to this. We would come to the House. The Prime Minister is finalizing the arrangements for the loan. So the loan is not finalized yet. We are told the drawings are not finalized yet. They're still working on the drawings. The costing is not finalized yet. They're still waiting on the drawings to get the costings, but they have a contractor already. So the drawings not finished, the costing of the project not finished, the loan not finished, but they have a contractor already. And you tell me, keep quiet, we're getting a new airport, there is progress in this country. That cannot be accepted. St. Lucians cannot accept that. And we are told that roads will be repaired in St. Lucia. All over there will be new roads. Now, Muevle Shimia too, Marigot need road, Bassa Joseph need road. Of course we need roads repaired. But you're telling me the roads have not even been finished, identified yet. Costing is not finished yet, but you already have a contractor for all the roads already. And it happened to be the same Taiwanese company that doing the airport. And they're saying that to us in the House. And we are supposed to be happy as St. Lucians because our road will be fixed. Forget the process. But you know why it's important to you? Because you are the St. Lucians, your children that will be repaying the loans for those roads and those projects. You are the ones who will be paying. And let me tell you, when you pay $20 million for a project that's supposed to cost $15 million, we have lost $5 million. And that $5 million could have done something else for the country. So don't tell me to be happy just because you're doing a project and tell me there is progress. So the no confidence motion was about that for me. Was about that. And let me tell you the last reason that no confidence motion was important to me. It wasn't about who won and who lost. I believe a prime minister must be honest. A prime minister must speak the truth. So when a prime minister says something, you can go and sleep at night knowing your prime minister has spoken, and that's the word. But when a prime minister cannot speak the truth, and there is no honesty in that prime minister, we have a serious problem in the country. We have a serious problem. I mean, in the House, and in preparing for the no confidence motion, I came up with about 40 lies that Alan Chastney has said since the campaign of June 2016. I only mentioned 10 in the House, only 10. But let me make the point to you why a prime minister has to be honest. Has to be honest. Alan Chastney would tell us that the first order of business, and he said it at the rally in Miko, is to reduce the price of fuel. On Monday, the price went up, and it has never come down. Alan Chastney would tell us he never knew Tioakin before July 2016, but he have pictures on Facebook with he and Tioakin before July 2016. He forgot to take it out. The Prime Minister will tell us, and he swears there's no confidentiality clause in the DSH agreement. And while he's saying it, all St. Lucians looking at the agreement, and he's in clause 19, confidentiality clause. Seriously? The Prime Minister would tell us he has never seen any drawings for a causeway between Moria Island and Assab. He has never seen that. You don't know where people get that from. Seriously, Prime Minister? The Prime Minister would say to us, he don't know where they got this thing that the Border Control Agency will be a statutory body. People just saying that. And the Cabinet conclusion says it loud and clear. Now, I can go on and give you more and more examples. Do you have any trust in the word of the Prime Minister? As St. Lucians, do you have any trust? Now, the parliamentarians who voted in favor of the no confidence motion are the real patriots of St. Lucia. We are the real patriots. We stood up in defense of our homeland. We stood up in defense of Fair Helen. But you see, those who voted against it, they will have a day when they'll have to face the people of St. Lucia. And I want every one of them to stand up and tell the people of St. Lucia loud and clear, like they did in the House, hush, hush, hush. I have confidence in Alan Chasney. Everything he's doing for this country, he's right to do it. All the sufferings of the people of St. Lucia, Alan Chasney is right. That's what they were saying. There was one who said he is not a politician, but he found his voice in the House of Parliament. And I want you to find out why. Why did he find his voice? Each and every one of them will be judged very soon in St. Lucia, because the people are the ultimate jury of who won debate and who lost the debates. And let me tell you, do not relax. Do not get too comfortable. The United Workers' Party government is a government for friends, family, and foreigners. Let me explain to you. On Tuesday, we had a debate. We exposed all the misdeeds of UWP, all the misdeeds of the Prime Minister. Do you know what they did on Wednesday? On Wednesday, we met in the House to consider a number of bills. And I want you to listen to me carefully, because I want you to tell your friends about that. I want you to tell your family about that. They passed a bill, a Tourism Stimulus Amendment Act. And listen to that. The law of St. Lucia says, there's a law in St. Lucia for tourism incentives. When you come to invest X amount, you get Y incentives. You invest Y incentives, you get Y amount, you get Z incentives. So when you come to St. Lucia and you invest, you know what you're getting, because the law says what you're going to get. On Wednesday, they passed a law that says they're giving cabinet the right to give people they decide to get extras to what the law say they should get. Let me say it again to you. So the law says who gets what. But they pass a law that gives them the right to give whoever they want extra to what the law say you should get. Think about that. So when an investor comes to St. Lucia, if he comes, he knows he gets X amount. If you come, you know you get Y amount. But you now can come to Alan Chasney and say, I want some extras. And the law says, the law he passed says he can give the extras. But he can tell the next man, no, I'm not giving it to you. So where you had a level playing field, everybody knew according to law who get what when they invest what. But they now give themselves a law, the right to give people extras. Now, how I know you're not being unfair to me? How? What if you don't like what if you don't like which politics I support? What if you don't like the country I come from? What if you don't like my height? I'm being simplistic, but the point I'm making to you, your cabinet now has the right to decide who they're giving extras and who they're not giving extras according to what the law says. Now, Dr. Anthony won them, and he told them that's not constitutional. You cannot do that. You cannot have a law that say you have the right to give more than what the law gives. That cannot happen. So let's wait and see where that one will end up. But the point I'm making to you is, on Wednesday we were debating how bad the government is. On Tuesday. But by Wednesday they were passing a law that make you see that they are worse than we even thought they were. They are worse than we even thought they were. They had no shame. They had no hesitation to go the day after and pass an even worse law than they've ever passed before. That law cannot continue. That law has to be challenged by the people of St. Lucia. Because if we don't do it, a few people in cabinet will have the right to give away this country under us. Because there will be no law to control them anymore. Because a new law has given them the right to give whatever extras they want to give. And I'm hearing already the government is discussing with businessmen because they want to give, they want to give all the hotels the right to bring in everything they want duty-free and tax-free and VAT-free in the country. So right now, they plan to do that at the next budget. So at the next budget, they want to do it. So all hotels can import everything duty-free. When poor people want something, they call them beggars and mendicants. But when hotels want something, and other big businessmen, there are incentives and concessions. We must stand up and make a very loud statement to the government. We support investment. We support businessmen coming in this country. But we do not believe that any cabinet should have the right, in its own judgment, to give whoever they want extras to what the law says the person should get. That is wrong. So when the gentlemen sat there, when the honorable members sat there and they voted against the motion, they all know what it is going on. Don't mind them. You're tooth salve. And those of you that believe that member from Cassius North, Stevenson King, blah, 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 membet, mempuel. Those who believe that Bradley Felix is a nice fella, membet, mempuel. Those that believe Herod Stanislaus keeping quiet, he not talking, membet, mempuel. All of them in it. When they told you all of we in it, it's all of them in it. And they're telling me how Chasney have vision. Vision, Chasney have sight. Chasney don't have no vision. He just seen. Say, just see, he can see. Sight in it. He have any vision. Now, let me tell you, I'm getting warm up now, and I know time is running out, so I have to go. Labour Party supporters, patriots of St. Lucia, we have to protect this country. We're facing 40th anniversary of our independence. We need to protect our heritage. We need to protect the resources of our country. We want investors to come in. We want foreign investors to come in. But equally important, we want local investors to own a share of this country. This country is not only about foreigners. We support investment, but we cannot pretend we can give foreigners each and everything that this country has. What will the future generations of St. Lucians get if we give away everything to foreigners? We cannot allow a government to continue where everything they do is in the interest of their friends, their family, and foreigners. We must stand up against that. And that's why you must be on the ground. You must be on the ground organizing yourselves. You must be on the ground mobilizing our supporters. You must be all over the constituencies, talking to the people of the constituency. Talk to the Flabos. Talk to the laborers that did not come out to vote. Talk to the laborers that went to vote for Flabo. Talk to everybody to make sure at the next election we can get rid of this wicked government. Let me tell you, I want you to be like some of those religions. I want you to be on every door knocking. I want you to be relentless. I want you to be hungry for it. And you know why you're hungry? Because you have to save St. Lucia. That's why you have to be hungry for it. And let nobody fool you. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Because in the minds of the UWPs, once they have money, they can buy all of you. They can buy everybody on the blocks, on the ghettos. They can buy everybody. That's what they believe. That's what they believe. And somebody told me, you know, there's a plan they have. Listen to this one. They hire in a firm from America to come and do marketing and promotions for them. Massive campaign, millions of dollars. It's really for Flabo, but they make it look like it's the government. So each ministry have to put a share of money. Every agency must put a share of money. I heard a company name is Endeavor. And somebody tell me the person who is in charge working in St. Lucia shall be giving a big speech very soon. So look out for that speech. When you see that speech very soon, you can have somewhere to take a deal. So they will be paid millions of dollars to start a massive campaign all over St. Lucia, promoting all the ministries using our money. But it's ministers' pictures they will have on billboards. Tout passe, we can go billboard. We are working with yellow jackets and yellow helmets to fool you. To fool you. To make you believe that they are working in your interests. Meanwhile, projects not going out to tender. Projects that cost 10 million is 15 million you're giving the contract for. Where is the other 5 going? Where is the other 5 going? St. Lucians, we need to be aware of what's going to happen over the next 2 years. 2 years from now, the campaign will be on. 2 years. Somebody say he'll call early elections. See, I want you to see the no confidence motion debate as the start of the hard work, the start of removing the United Workers' Party from government. I am ready to work hard. Are you ready? Are you ready?